This thing inside of us that we call a soul, can you share a soul with another person?
Well, it's consciousness, and it is a stream. And Esther has felt, as she's reached for Abraham, that we are a collective consciousness, and she can feel some emphasis sometimes that is stronger, a lot of emphasis in this conversation, because she can feel what you're calling forward.
Right.
Sometimes, here's the best way of explaining it. When Jerry made his transition, now Esther had been hearing from Abraham for a long time. She was very comfortable with the idea of Abraham, with the vibrational relationship with Abraham. She'd come to know how we felt. She trusts us. She knows the feeling of us. She really can feel the fullness of us. And when Jerry made his transition, she didn't want him to just go be part of the Abraham soup. Of course, he is part of the Abraham soup, but she wants to carve him out in a special way. She's always had Abraham. Now she wants Jerry in the way that she's had him. She wants him to be interested in the track titles for this conversation that we're having. She wants him to be interested in this piece of furniture that she's buying, because he always said, let's not junk it up. And she worries a little bit that she might be junking it up a little bit. And she buys one more thing and drags it home. And so she's interested in what he thinks about all of that. And she can feel that because of who she knew him to be and who she now knows him to be, she can feel the specifics of that which is Jerry from non-physical flowing through her.
And how do you know it?
And the strongest thing, we'll answer that in just a moment. I want to stick this in first. The most interesting thing to Esther was that she had to forget who Jerry was in order to find who he now is. Because some things that he didn't like very much, he's not pushing against anymore. Some things that he felt strongly about, he doesn't feel strongly about. So she's had to let him train her into his new perspective in order to really find him. And in doing so, she's finding her own inner being in a stronger way. It surprised Esther because she was just living happily ever after. And she was just following what she considered to be wise man who was always loving and always kind and always good to everyone. And she just sort of let him take the lead, and she followed in pure bliss. And now she's discovering that he wants her to lead. And then he will revel with her in the alignment that she has found.
Is this done through a feeling?
Yeah. When Jerry was in his physical body, as you are, and they were having a conversation, she would say, I really want to know what you think about this. And he would say, I think it's not that so much as you want me to agree with what you think. And that was sort of kind of true. Where now, she's not interested in him agreeing with her. She really wants to know what he thinks. She wants to train her vibration into that pure, positive energy.
Does he give you signals when he's around? Does the furniture move? Do things fall off the suitcase or the
first awareness she had, and this will tell you a lot, because it speaks to the power of desire. Sort of what we were talking about with your father, where your desire was so powerful, and even though you had a big wad of resistance going on, your desire was so powerful that it was dominant. So you had that wonderful forgiving, coming back into alignment moment. And so what Esther's noticed, early after he'd made his transition, she was visiting with her sister, and she was really having a hard day. And she was saying out loud to Jeannie, where is he? He said that he would show up. Where is he? I want to know where he is. I can't find him. Where is he? And at that moment, the Sarah book on the shelf right where he had placed it slapped itself right down on the counter. And there was no question that he had made his presence known, because the power of Esther's desire was so strong. Well, that was 2 years ago. Now he won't play that silly game with her. In other words, by now, she knows that she must be in alignment with who she is. So there's a light in the bedroom that can be seen, the house is sort of U-shaped. So there's a light in the bedroom that Esther can see from the bedroom, from the living room looking across the porch, across the pool, from the office looking across. She can nearly see that light on that quartz wall from just about every room that she's in the house. And so when she is really feeling good, that light blinks in appreciation of her joy. But if she ever goes in there all feeling sorry for herself and says, blink the light, you think he's going to blink the light? He will not come down to a lower disc to play with her. She's going to play with him. She's got to get up there where she belongs.